and Shannon is in charge of putting on all of the seminars. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about. And we're going to be talking about how you can make money with your own seminars. And then on Monday, my very special guest is going to be none other than Dan Kennedy. And Dan is going to be talking with me about how you can make money in the coaching business. And so tonight I'm going to show you how to put all of these pieces together, how it all works in a very simple model that you can take and you can use. And we're going to go deep today on how to create a product. On Thursday, we're going to go into how do you make money at a seminar. And then on Monday with Dan Kennedy, we're going to be talking about how you can make money in the coaching business, helping other people. And so to me, this is the best business in the world. You can absolutely work it from your home. In fact, it was funny. Today, I was busy and I was just basically wearing sweatpants and my Rod Stewart shirt, and that's it. And like 7:30 came around, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to shower, I've got to shave, and put on something that looks a little bit better. So, but that's one of the keys. You can do this business anywhere. I mean, literally anywhere where there's an internet connection, you can run an information marketing business. And I got to tell you, there's nothing more positive, nothing more exciting than waking up in the morning, checking your email, and seeing how much money you've made, getting checks in the mail. And yes, people still do send checks in the mail. It's just unbelievable. And the feeling to control your own destiny is so powerful. Now, GKIC is the leader of information marketing. That's our business. We are in the information marketing business. And so you're going to be learning the strategies that we use during these 3 absolutely free Google Hangouts that we're doing. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, why are they doing these Google Hangouts? What is the method behind their madness? Well, there's 2 reasons. One of them is to absolutely give you some training. Again, I think this is one of the most exciting businesses in the world. It's a business that you can create a profit center inside your business if you're already in a business. We'll be talking about that. It's also if you want to start your own business, if you're not in business right now, or start a second business. It's just absolutely fantastic because it is something that you can do on a part-time basis. So that's the first thing, really to give you really great information. And I think that you're going to see us in all of these Google Hangouts that we're doing, all of this free training. It is actual training. Now, the other reason for this is we've got an info summit coming up in just 2 weeks. And if you haven't registered for that yet, you can by going to dankennedy.com/info summit. dankennedy.com/info summit. And we are running out of seats for that. So we have a handful of seats left. But I have a really exciting announcement to make at the end of this free training about if you can't make it there live. Obviously, if you can make it there live, that's the most powerful thing that you do. But I know for some of you, the dates don't work out or you just can't get there. So I've got an announcement at the end of this. But let's get right into the training because we want to deliver unbelievable information for you. Okay, so this is how you get into the information marketing business. We're going to be going over one major piece of the puzzle today, but like I said, I'm going to give you all of the pieces of the puzzle, and so you can see how they all fit together as an overall, and then we're going to be going in depth on 3 of the pieces. So let's get started with the first piece to the puzzle. The first piece of the puzzle is picking a hot target market. Now, this is not one that we're going to go into great detail about. And because we've done that before in a previous Google Hangout, we talked about how to pick a hot target market. But your first note should be you need to pick a hot target market. And let me just give you some basics for you to write down. The first thing is I want you to think niche. I want you to think niche market. Most people think, well, hey, if I just go and find, I can market my ideas, my product to the entire world. While that is possible, the odds of you succeeding doing that are very, very slim. The beauty of the information marketing business is that you can have a 6-figure business easily and or even a 7-figure business in tiny niche markets without you having to invest a ton of capital to make the business work. Now at GKIC, we are generalists, meaning we've got all different kinds of members. But Also, and we make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. But Dan Kennedy has said if he was to start this all over again, he would niche. So think niche market. Now, a question that always comes up is how many people should be in the niche market? The recommendation is no less than 25,000 to no more than 100,000 people. Now, why no less than 25,000 people? Well, if you can capture 10% of the market, which you typically can do with a well-run and a complete information marketing business, the one like we're going to talk about here on this live training, you can have a $1 million business with just about 2,000 to 2,500 customers. You can have a 7-figure business. Now, am I promising you're going to have a 7-figure business? Of course not. But a high 6-figure business, absolutely. Now, why no more than 100,000 people? Well, typically, if there's more than 100,000 people, it means that you have not niched down far enough. So the further down that you can niche within reason, falling in the parameters that I'm listing out here, the better off you're going to be. And the reason is when somebody sees your marketing, your lead generation, and they say, hey, this is specifically for me. When they read your sales material and they look at your sales videos, whatever process that you're using to sell, then what will happen is they'll say, this is for me. When they say this is for me and they think it's a specialty product, and it is a specialty product, you typically get more money and higher conversions. More money for the same product. So if you have a time management product, what does that sell for? If you had 6 CDs, that'll sell for $59.95. If you have time management for dentists, maybe that can sell for $197. If you have time management for high-end cosmetic dentists, that program can go for $497, $597, or even higher. So again, and your conversion rates will be higher because a person seeing your marketing will say, hey, this is for me. So the next thing is you want to pick out something where you have specialized knowledge or you know someone who has specialized knowledge. One of the beauties of this business is you don't necessarily need to be the guru. You can sell somebody, you can be the person in the back who is promoting a guru, and you take the lion's share of the money. Why? Because you know the marketing. The marketing is the key. But most people, they have a message that they want to get out to the world. They want to help people. They want to share their knowledge, their expertise with other people. So what are you an expert at? What specialized knowledge do you have? Now, again, a lot of people say, well, I don't have any specialized knowledge. Or I don't have a completely successful business. Here's the reality. You don't have to be totally successful in your business to start an information marketing business. Is there something that you do better than most of the people in your market that solves a problem, satisfies a want, a need, or a desire? So, for example, one of my clients, she was very good. She was an estate planning attorney. She was very good at engaging clients. She wasn't that great at marketing. She didn't have that great of systems in place in her law practice, but she was great, one of the best at engaging clients. Well, this was a pain point that the people in her target market wanted. And again, there's a whole bunch of information I'm giving you here, so I really hope you're taking notes quickly because pain point is one of the key elements. We'll talk more about that in just a second. And so she started, her first information product was a product about how to engage more clients. And very quickly, she took that business from 0 to over $1 million in just over 12 months. And again, starting with a basic product. So what do you have specialized knowledge in that other people would be interested in? The next thing that you're looking for in your market is a market that has a high passion index. The classical example is that of the golf market. Golfers have a very high passion index and will buy almost anything that they believe will lower their score, allow them to drive the ball further down the field, so on and so forth. So is there a high passion index? The next piece of the puzzle is, do they have money to spend? This is really, really important. So again, golfers are the perfect example because golfers will have money to spend and they will spend it. Because it's no good to have people who have a high passion index but no money. So my first market, as I mentioned, was magicians. Well, it broke almost all of these rules. And I still did 6 figures in it, but it was quite frankly, it was kind of a struggle to do 6 figures. Because, first of all, there weren't enough of them. the top trade magazine for magicians had only 10,000 subscribers to it, and they weren't all working pros. The second thing was they didn't have a lot of money. So that was 2 strikes in that market. Now again, I did very, very well in the market. In fact, I sold my business, and we're going to bring the guy on who bought my business in just a little bit. But again, it was more of a struggle. Now the next thing is, are they easy to reach? Because you see, they could have a high passion index. They can have money to spend, but if you can't reach them, either online or offline, or ideally a combination of both, you are going to struggle to make money. So those are basics of picking the niche. So now that you've picked the niche, the second piece to the puzzle of this info marketing puzzle is creating sizzling hot products that people want to buy, that the people in the niche want to buy. Actually, that's a misnomer. It's creating a first product. You don't have to plan out your entire business. What you need to do is get into the game and create your first product. Now, on this particular training, I'm going to bring on the guy that helps me develop my products in my business before I was a Chief Marketing Officer at GKIC, and is helping me develop a new product, the new Psychic Sales product. And we're going to go through exactly how we do that. But creating hot, sizzling products is really, really important, and we're going to share with you in more detail exactly how to do that on this Google Hangout. Okay, so now you have sold your first product. Okay, you've got a target market. You've created a hot product. You've done lead generation. Okay, that would be the next piece of the puzzle, by the way. So you've got to do lead generation. We're not going to talk about lead generation because we just did a whole 2 weeks of training with the Ultimate Lead Generation Machine. By the way, people have been asking about that. If they can get it, they got in late. Sorry, that product is sold out. So we are not releasing that product at this time. So sorry about that if you didn't get in on it. So we're not talking about lead generation, but obviously that's something that you need to do. You need to have lead generation magnet. You need to have lists. You need to do all different kinds of things to generate leads. Okay, but now you sold your first product. What is the next piece of the puzzle? What is the next thing that you can do? Well, there's many things that you can do. One is you can create another product to sell to the people who have just bought, and that is something that you're going to absolutely positively want to do. Because once the most expensive part of the entire business and the most difficult part of the entire business is getting someone to buy the first time. Once you have a buyer, as long as you're delivering quality, and it's really important when we go over product development, share with you that you have to be delivering a quality product that has an impact, has transformational value for the person who's buying it. It's really, really important. So we're going to assume that. But if you do that, people are going to want more of what you have. And so you're going to have to create other products. You're going to have to do affiliate joint venture relationships with other people, because there's no way that you're going to be able to create enough product to satisfy the needs of the people in your market. There's always going to be people that just want to buy more and more and more and more. But in addition to creating more products, one of the most lucrative things that you can do is to do seminars, to do live seminars. Now, like I said, we have the upcoming Info Summit, which is being held in Nashville. And again, we have a few tickets remaining for that, but that's going to be closing down soon. Again, if you're interested, go to dankennedy.com/info summit. dankennedy.com/info summit, and you can snag one of the final tickets. But the point is, that is an event. Now, that is a big event. There's going to be 700, 800, 900 people at that event. But you don't have to get started there. When I first got started, my first event was for about 25 to 30 magicians. That's what it was. And Jack Turk, the guy who I'm going to bring on later, was one of those guys in that audience. Now, Jack has been with me now for 13, 14 years. And we're going to go through. Jack went through this entire process, by the way. Okay? So everything that I'm telling you, I'm not telling you because I read it somewhere. I'm teaching you this because I've done it in my own business, and I've helped private clients do it in their business, and my coaching members do it. So we've got info marketing coaching groups. I've taught people exactly how to do this and got tremendous results following this exact model that I'm laying out. So one of the strongest things you can do is, once you sell a bunch of product, is to do an event. An event is one of the highest leverage things that you can do. They can be huge, huge money makers. So I have made on little tiny events. I'm talking like with 15 to 20 people in the event. I have made $200,000 in that one weekend, $100,000 in that one weekend. So I mean, think about how powerful that is. So seminars and events, they don't have to be these big grand things, or they can be. But a lot of people get all freaked out because they're like, oh my God, I can't put on an event like GKIC's Info Summit. You don't have to to get started. You can do 15 to 20 person events and still make a ton of money. So we're going to be talking about how to fill events, how to fill seminars with the person who does it for us here at GKIC, Shannon McCaffrey. And that's on a training coming up on Thursday. Okay, and I don't have the time off the top of my head, but Mike Stadola will have that time, and he'll get it for us. So okay, so we're going to be talking about on Thursday how to fill the events and how the real money is made at the events. Most people, they see the event, they say, oh my God, GKIC has 700, 800 people here at this Info Summit, and people paid $2,000 each to come to the summit, and so they're doing the math in their head. That's not where the money is made. The money is made about what happens in the room. So we're going to be talking about that as well on Thursday. Remember, I'm giving you an overview, an A to Z, a soup to nuts overview of how the business works, and we're going to dive deep into product creation today, dive deep into seminars with Shannon on Thursday, and dive deep into coaching with Dan Kennedy on Monday. So you make sure you mark this on your calendar for Monday. So the next piece of the puzzle, guess what, is coaching. And again, the coaching can take on many forms. Dan's going to go, again, in detail on this on Monday. But so you can do group coaching, mastermind coaching. You can do one-on-one coaching. Typically, the more access they have to you, the higher the price is. And that's the way it should be as well. Some people get hung up. Boy, how can you charge $15,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 to put somebody in a coaching program? Well, because of the results that they get if they follow your advice. So you've got to know your own value. You can do a combination of group coaching and one-on-one coaching. You can have coaching with a done-for-you component. So before I came on board at GKIC, my business was that. We had an information marketing coaching group, and part of it was a done-for-you. You can outsource the coaching. You can self-coach coaching and outsource it and have somebody else do it. So there are different models, but it's huge. It's huge. Now let me tie all the pieces of the puzzle together for you, all right? You pick a hot target market. You lead generate to that target market. You sell your first product. After you sell a bunch of your first product, you do a seminar. At the seminar, guess what? You sell coaching. You sell coaching at the seminar. So, for example, one of our speakers, Allie Brown, who's a speaker at the upcoming Info Summit in Nashville, Allie, for a long time, that was exactly her model. She had one event a year, and at that event, she sold a $100,000 coaching program, all right, and added like 15 people to that program when she did it. If you do the math, it's $1.5 million, okay? So that is the model. I just laid it out for you. I mean, it's really that simple. And now there are details of each piece that we need to go over. So what I want to do right now, and by the way, I'm going to take your questions, and Jack will take your questions as well, but what I want to do right now, before we get to your questions, is go over how do you create a killer product that has real value, has transformational value, as I call it, to the people who buy it, to your market, as well as makes you a lot of money. And so I want to bring on my very, very, very good friend, Jack Turk. So Jack, make yourself visible once again and turn on your microphone. There's your microphone. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay. Hey, so Jack Turk is our head copywriter at GKIC, but I want to talk a little bit about Jack's journey before we talk about creating the product. So, Jack, how many years ago? It was about 13 years ago, wasn't it?
Around that, just over a decade. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, over a decade ago.
99, something like that.
Yeah, over a decade ago, Jack was reading Magic Magazine, which is a magazine for magicians. And Jack, as you can see by the posters in the back there, show the posters, Jack. is a magician, and so Jack bought my first product, the Ultimate Insider Secrets Marketing Program for Magicians. That was the name of it, Ultimate Insider Secrets Marketing Program for Magicians. And then Jack, tell what happened. I mean, give them the journey. Give them your personal journey.
Sure. Well, I bought the product. I had a full-time gig, and I thought, gee, I've always been doing magic. I thought, I'd like to do a few more shows. Saw the ad for Dave's thing. I thought, oh, that sounds kind of cool. So I bought the product and got on Dave's email list, his e-zine list, and regularly got Dave's e-zines and his email blasts. And I thought, oh, okay, well, he had one product, and I bought, oh, well, there's another product Dave's got. I thought that might be interesting too, because I liked that. I just kept applying all the stuff that Dave taught, and I learned how to basically book myself as a magician, which I had never been able to do before. I'd done a lot of shows while I was through agents. And then I saw Dave announced he's going to have a conference in Atlanta. And that's the opposite side of the country. I live in Seattle, that area, so that was a...
Unfortunately, you live on the West Coast, but go ahead.
Yeah. I live on, yes, way out nowhere here. And that was a big deal. That was a big stretch for me to go, I'm going to have to travel all the way across the country. It was a big event. It was a serious investment, and I decided that, you know, if I'm going to pursue what I really like doing, what I really love doing, I should make the investment in myself and acquire the knowledge I need to go another level beyond what was in the one ebook or the one book. And so I met Dave went to the event, and it was attending this. I have to say, Dave, I told you before, it truly did change my life. It changed my life in a multitude of ways. One, obviously, I wouldn't be here without having done that, taken that step. So that kind of leads you to, you know, taking a step of attending something. You never know where that could lead you in terms of the contacts you make and the information you receive, absorb, and apply. And got to meet Dave, got to meet a bunch of other people, other magicians. Actually, I've developed friendships. You know, Dave, I still have to this day. I still am in touch with many of the guys I met at that first event. Well, I went to the first event. I went to the one the year after that. I went to the one the year after that. I bought every single product Dave had. Dave had an extensive line of products, and I bought every single one. And Dave had sort of what's called a continuity program on like a monthly membership to get, you know, faxes from Dave and more inside tips. I got onto that. Dave announced a coaching program, a mastermind program. I got on that.
At an event that you came to.
At an event I came to, and I thought, you know,
well, that was a really big investment for you. I mean, that was a huge investment.
It was a massively good investment. And this was actually, it wasn't a mastermind program for magicians. I'll make sure I clear that to you. There was a subset of the magicians in that group who were interested. You were starting to change your marketing, and you're changing your focus. And this is something people should be aware of. You don't have to always stay in one niche. You can actually branch out in other niches and expand your horizons, which Dave did. And Dave offered a mastermind program on basically information marketing. As you know, he knows a little bit about that topic, a little bit about that subject. And so I joined a mastermind group on that and experimented. Dave also offered a license to the Ultimate Insider Secrets course. You didn't mention licensing as a possible revenue stream, which is an interesting.
I mean, there's so many different subsets of all of this,
right?
That you can do. But I wanted to give them the basic, framework.
True.
Product, seminar, coaching.
Yeah, I don't want to confuse people. Anyway, I created a version of my own. I tried a niche which was basically music teachers because I play guitar. I thought that was interesting. I applied same principles. Did some success, got in the game with that, and Dave took notice of that. And when Dave decided to get fully out of the market, the magician business, he offered me the opportunity to say, "Why don't you buy my niche? Why don't you buy my business?" And so, after some thought, I decided in 2006 to make the full-time leap from a full-time job at Microsoft Corporation, where I was a professional writer, to become a full-time entrepreneur and magician and info marketer.
Tell the story though, and then we'll get into how we create product. But tell the story about, because it's just a really cool story about how you did that.
Well, 2006, I made the decision at, I wasn't sure if it was at an event, but I announced it at an event. But what I did, I made the decision, I'm going to do this. So in 2006, and Dave and I talked about the deal and the arrangement and everything else, and how I was going to hand it over. And on my birthday in November of 2006, November
50th birthday. 50th
my
birthday.
50th birthday, yes, on my 50th birthday on November 13th, 2006. So if anybody wants to remember that date, it's coming up, by the way. Cards, letters, gifts, whatever, money. All those will be good on November 13th.
I'm sure. I'm making a mental note.
I'm sure you are. November 13th of 2006, on my 50th birthday, as my boss, who was a very nice man, a very nice, pleasant man, was putting a happy birthday thing on my door at the office. He was putting that up, and I said, Alan, come here, I got some news for you. And on my 50th birthday, I resigned my job at Microsoft and began a career as an entrepreneur.
As an information marketer.
As an information marketer.
And now Jack is the head copywriter at GKIC. And so, he's the one that wrote the email to get you guys on this Hangout. So, he kind of knows what he's doing. But the other thing is, before Jack came on board at GKIC, he worked with me in my other business, my information marketing business, and we've put together a lot of products. And so what we want to do, Jack, on this call, on this training, is talk to the folks about how we put together products and how they can put together a product, quickly and easily. So, and we're in the process right now of creating we're almost done with it, of creating a new version of our cornerstone product, which is the Psychic Salesperson System. So we go through a very specific process, and so we want to share with you exactly what that process is, and you can take it and use it as well. The first thing when you're creating a product, now we've assumed that you have chosen your target market. Okay, very, very important that you have chosen your target market. Then you answer this question: what pain are the people in that target market in? What are they looking for? Because you want to create a product that someone wants to buy, that someone is already looking for. One of the most difficult things that you can do, and I hear this all of the time from people who do coaching, is that they come up with a product idea, but they don't know who they're going to sell it to. And they don't know if it's really something that the market wants. They want to sell it. It doesn't matter if you want to sell the product. You want to sell things that people want to buy and are looking to buy, right? So that's the first thing that we do is, okay, what do people want here? And then we talk about the transformation. Jack, talk a little bit about how we are. One of the first questions that we answer is what transformation. So talk a little about the importance of the transformation that the product gives to folks.
This goes a little bit beyond features and benefits. People tend to think about, here are all the features of the product. It's got 6 CDs, it's got a manual, it's got maybe ongoing email campaign or whatever. And maybe if you're a better marketer, and mostly you talk about what's good about each one of those things, but the real distinction you want to make is what is the end result transformation that each of those components and the entire package as a whole accomplishes for the customer of your product, for the receiver of the product. If, as go back to my magician example, Dave's product I bought, the transformation it did for me that I wanted was to be able to get out from under not knowing how to book myself, not having to rely on agencies which were unreliable, but actually be able to take control of that in my own life and my business. And from that point forward, I would have control. I would know how to book myself and get more and more gigs as a magician. That was the cornerstone transformation. I would no longer have to rely on other people. I could do
Right,
it.
so that is the key. So you want to figure out what the transformation is and it's really important. What is this going to do for your customer when they buy it? And then the process that we go through is really, really cool, because we now work backwards. All right, we work backwards, and most people don't do this. So here's a key tip. Now that you know what the transformation is, you create the offer first. So Jack, address this, because most people do this the completely opposite way of what they should be doing.
The bass-ackwards way of doing it
Right,
is, yeah, the total bass-ackwards way of doing it is create the product first and figure out how to sell it. Instead, what you want to do, you understand the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So you identify all the pieces of content, of information, of tools, templates, services you can provide, whatever your market is, whatever your business is, it doesn't matter. You think about all those different components and services as if all these work together to perfectly accomplish that transformation.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so we decide in basic what the offer is. Now that changes, by the way, as you progress through creating the product. Okay, the offer will change. So Jack, we've changed the offer for the product that we're creating a lot. But the main transformation for the buyer is still the same, and the main structure of the product is the same. Okay. So now we know what the transformation is. We know what the components that are necessary to get the prospect, get our buyer that transformation. The next thing we do is we say, okay, what questions would a prospect have, a buyer have, that we need to answer? And so Jack and I get on the phone and we talk about all the questions, and I just literally spew stuff out, and Jack writes them down. So Jack, you really did this. Talk about how you structured that document with all of the different questions that I answered in creating the product.
What I did was, we did first, it was just basically a core dump, and that's, I'm sorry, the Microsoft person. That was basically a dump of everything we could imagine. It was a brainstorming session. It was I didn't edit Dave. Let's just come up with every single question we can imagine. Then I took those and I looked at the core transformations we wanted to accomplish and organized the questions into groupings that fit with each of those core transformations. One core transformation, for example, might be I want to generate leads online. Another core transformation might be when I get the lead, I want to be able to make the sales presentation more effective. And there's a bunch of questions associated with that. So I basically organized all those into those subgroups. Mm-hmm. And then we went, well, I guess you talk about the next step, I guess.
Yeah, and so basically what we had is we had different headings. Okay, so we're going to talk about, for example, getting into the mind of your audience. Yep. Okay, and here are all of the different things that you need to know about getting into the mind of your audience. And so we just put it in question form or in bullet point form, mm-hmm. and we did that until we had a huge outline. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and basically I already knew all the answers because this is what I do, right? Because I am truly an expert in this product that I was creating. And so then there's a couple different ways that you can do this. Now, because I already knew the answers, basically we just recorded me talking to each one of these different points. And so we had CD number 1 would be on this certain subject, and all I did was talk to those points. And so we would raise the question first, and then I would answer the question based upon the bullet points. Just had an outline, and I talked about it. And we recorded it, and that's how we created the product. But here's another way that you can do this. Okay, and this is the way that, and afterwards we were like, duh, I mean, this is what I teach and what I've done a gazillion times, but we just didn't think of it. And I don't know why. I still don't know why we didn't think of this, Jack, but we didn't. one of the best things that you could do is sell this before you've even created it. Now you're saying, wait a minute, this is crazy. What do you mean sell it before I've even created it? Well, you've already created the outline for everything, right, that you're going to talk about. So what you do is you sell a series of teleseminars, a series of Google Hangouts, a series, whatever it is. And then you simply like let's say that you have 6 topics that you're going to discuss. Well, that would be 6 calls. That would be 6 Google Hangouts. And so someone buys and they come on the first week and you do the first Google Hangout and you record it, or you do the first teleseminar and you record it, all right? And you do it the same way. So you would just have your notes with your bullet points, and you just look down at your notes and you just talk. You just create it and you record it. And then you're going to create some handouts that the folks can download, okay? And so you do this for each of the segments. Now, Jack, if I'm not being clear here, I'll let you clean it up in a little bit, okay? But so you just record it, and so now you've got recordings of live teleseminars or Google Hangouts that you have sold at a time. You take those recordings, those MP3s, you put them onto CDs. You get the CDs transcribed. Now you've created. This is exactly what we do, by the way. I'm laying out exactly what we do. You then get the CDs transcribed and you put it into a manual. Now what we like to do is we call it an enhanced transcript, meaning that Jack goes through and it's not because he takes out all the uhs and when Dave says something dumb or which sound will or so what I do a lot is I'll repeat a concept. When you're talking, it sounds good, but if you're reading it, it looks stupid. So Jack will take out things that I've repeated, but it's basically a transcript.
Right.
Okay. And so now you've got your 6 CD program, you've got a manual, you've got your first product that you got paid to create. But the structure is the same. You create the topic heading, the questions that you need to answer, and the bullet point answers, and then you just talk to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. You just have to get it done. And so that's a very simple structure that you can follow. Our good friend at GKIC, Eben Pagan, Eben does something very, very similar, but instead of doing a teleseminar, the way that Eben creates most of his products is he sells a seminar. People come to the seminar, he records it, video records it, and now he's got a product. So again, the concept of selling it first and then creating it as you go is very, very powerful, because what a lot of people do is they spend a lot of time on the product creation and they get hung up on that and they never get around to selling the actual product. So if you've sold something, you've got money in the bank, you have the really good motivation to go out there and and create it. All right, but that's just a very simple structure, and it works. I mean, and it absolutely positively works, and it's something that you can do as long as you have the knowledge. All right, and again, just because it's simple, again, I need to emphasize this: you need to deliver tremendous value. You need to deliver tremendous value to the folks who are buying it, because if you don't deliver over-the-top value in the product that you're selling, then all of the other stuff, getting people to come to an event, getting people to buy more products, getting people to join your coaching program is not going to work. So if Jack bought my first product and it sucked, all right, and he didn't get any results from it, well, he's not flying across the country to go to my seminar. If he's not flying across the country to go to my seminar, then the next seminar, then the next seminar, well, then Jack isn't joining my expensive coaching program. And if Jack isn't joining my expensive coaching program, Jack doesn't buy my business. Jack doesn't buy my business. Jack is not the head copywriter at GKIC. Jack's not the head copywriter at GKIC. He's working for Microsoft right now.
Probably.
Right? Probably, right? So again, but it all comes down to the quality of everything that you do. And I need to, it's really, really important. The format that I just gave you is very, very simple, but it absolutely worked for creating killer products. Jack, do you have anything to add before we go to the questions from the folks?
I just want to add on just one extra point, is that when you talk quality, it's measured by, does it accomplish the transformation you promise? Because it goes back to that again. the content you deliver, look at it, and is it accomplishing the transformation that you did promise in your offer?
Yeah, I want to give that reminded me of the other thing. Thank you, Jack. It reminded me of the other thing I wanted to talk about, which was your offer should be so good. I'm going to have to edit myself because we're not at one of my intimate seminars where I don't edit myself.
Ah.
You want your offer so good that you feel like you're getting ripped off. You want your offer so good that it's like a person would be an idiot not to buy this. I mean, they'd be an idiot not to buy this. All right? You want to almost feel like you're getting ripped off. All right? That's, if you don't feel that way, go make it better, make it better, make it better until you do feel that way. Speaking of offers, before we bring on the handsome and charming Mike Zadola to give us questions from our viewers, I did mention that we have something really, really cool coming up, and it's the Info Summit. And again, there are a few seats left available for that if you want to go there live. And obviously, being there live is the best thing. So really, I'm not kidding about a few seats left. So go to dankennedy.com/info summit. It's in Nashville. You get all the details there. However, we know and we heard from a lot of people that they simply can't make it there in a couple weeks. And so we were thinking, well, how can we help people? There was a need, right? That's exactly what we talked about. Mm-hmm. There was a need, there was a problem, and so we wanted to create a, quote, product to fulfill it. And so what we decided to do for literally the first time ever in GKIC's history is we are doing a restricted access live cast event, meaning that we're going to be doing live video internet broadcast from Nashville and from the superheroes of info marketing at the Info Summit. Now, again, this is for a limited group of people. This is the first time that we've done this. And so what are you going to experience? Well, you are going to, I'm absolutely reading this because this is literally something that we came up with a couple days ago because of just the people saying, God, I want to go to this thing. I understand the power of information marketing, but how do I get there? So, I can't make it there at that time, or I can't afford it. I can't afford the travel. So here's what we're doing. So you will have access to all of the key sessions, including the opening keynote address from the Cape Crusader himself, Adam West, Batman, the original Batman, and he's famous obviously for Batman, the movies, Family Guy. But what a lot of people don't know is that he's also an information marketer. And so Adam West is going to be there, and so you will be able to see that keynote address. You'll also be able to see the seminar inside the seminar, which is copywriting for information marketers. You heard one of my points was lead generation, writing copy that sells. Well, there's nobody better to teach you than Dan Kennedy. Dan is doing a seminar inside the seminar where he's going to be teaching how to write killer copy that gets results. And he's got a special guest who he's invited. Unbelievable. I mean, just this one session, Jack, is worth the price of admission. John Carlton. If you don't know John, John is one of the best copywriters on the planet. Dan Kennedy instead of John. John is the only copywriter who he would pay to go see at a seminar. So John Carlton is going to be there as well. This is a seminar inside a seminar. I think this is like a 4 to 5 hour presentation, Jack, of Dan Kennedy and John Carlton teaching copywriting, teaching you how to write copy that sells and brings in big money. So that is also included in this restricted access live cast pass, which I'll tell you about how to get in just a second. Also, you get to see the presentations by the Major League of Superhero of Info Marketers. So that includes Jeff Walker, the product launch guy, Alex Mandozian, this guy by the name of Dave D, who's going to be talking about how to sell. Do you ever hear this guy? I hear he's handsome and charming. But Dave D is going to be talking about how to sell to groups of people, how to sell one to many. with psychic sales techniques. Our good friend Rich Sheffrin is going to be, I mean, look at this list. Allie Brown, who I talked about earlier, is going to be speaking. Robert Scrobe, president of the Information Marketing Association. The amazing Ron LeGrand. You've probably seen Ron on TV and infomercials. He's going to be speaking, and many more. You're going to see all of the main stage presentations, including the Dan Kennedy seminar inside the seminar, all of the speakers I named, and more. Any main stage presentation you are going to see. Also, as a special bonus, you'll get the best deal possible on the entire event's unedited recordings. Typically, we only offer the unedited recordings to folks who are at the event. We don't even sell them separately. But if you participate in this restricted access live pass, you will have the opportunity to get those recordings at a ridiculously low price. And what is the total investment on this thing? Well, to get to the Info Summit, I mean, it's going to cost. I mean, the investment for the Info Summit ranges anywhere from $14.97 to $19.97. Okay, so if you buy a ticket, it depends on your membership level and everything like that. And so we were thinking, well, you know, $19.97 is a pretty good offer on this. I mean, because you don't have to pay for a hotel, you don't have to pay for food. You can watch it from the comfort of your home. All of the main presentations you are going to have access to. In all fairness, the only ones that you're not going to have access to are the breakout sessions. So, but any main stage presentation with all of the heavy hitters, you will have access to. And for this is the entire 3 days, by the way. So we were thinking 1997 was awesome, and we know that people would jump at it. But we decided to make this a absolute no-brainer. So then we were talking to Betty. In fact, I was talking to Betty today on the phone. I just showed the phone, like they needed to see the cell phone. Wow. I talked to Betty today. She wanted to do it $14.97, which was one of the lowest prices that our gold members got to attend the event, and it was an early bird price. And I convinced her, not happily, truly, to make an offer to the first 100 people who take advantage of this right now. So if you're one of the first 100 people to take advantage of this and get your restricted access live cast pass, which will give you live access to the Info Summit via your computer from the comfort of your home, you can get all 3 days of this, 3 days of this event for one investment of $997. That's it. This is only for the first 100 people, or before 10/29, which I think is Monday, right, Jack? Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So it's either now. So again, the 100 may go tonight, it may go tomorrow, it may go on Thursday. But once 100 has been sold, the price is going up. This is what I could get Betty to agree to, because we like to reward people who take fast action. Because the truth is that we know that the most successful people are the people who take action. Those are the people who we like to work with. So, or on 10/29, so even if we haven't sold 100, which we're going to, I mean, over 1,000 people signed up for just this hangout with a little PS in an email, the price is going up on Monday. So you have to take advantage of this immediately if you want to get the lowest price possible. So to do that, all you need to do is click the button that you see on the page. It'll give you the details, basically what I just told you. Don't hesitate. Take advantage of this. Enjoy the Info Summit from the comfort of your home. Okay? So just click that button right now. All right, so let me bring on Mr. Mike Stodola. We'll take some questions from the folks, and then I'm going to go out for some food. And because I always announce the food I'm going to go out for. I think tonight, Mike, it's going to be sushi.
Okay, good to know.
Okay. Maybe we should ask the folks.
Yeah. What should Dave eat?
What should Dave?
Yeah.
What should Dave eat?
Part 2.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go for some questions here.
Yeah. No, we've got some good questions. One person asked, they are in the martial arts and fitness industry. Would this type of thing work for them?
I don't mean to laugh, but absolutely. There's some dynamic info marketers, including Lloyd Irvin, one of our members in that space. It's one of the best markets to get into. Now, somebody says, "Oh, wait a minute, there's already people in the market. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't. I mean, I want to find a market where there's no competitors." Actually, you don't, because the odds of you finding a completely virgin market where there are no competitors is slim. The reason there's probably no competitors in the market is because the market sucks. By the way, that is you want to write that down. That's a very key marketing term. Sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so no, that's absolutely a great market to get into. So yeah, I mean, absolutely positively. And again, the way to learn how to do this, and we're giving you great information on these live trainings, but obviously you need to, even if you don't come to the Info Summit Live or come to this thing, the live cast, get somebody's training on how to do the business, because you need more in-depth training. But yeah, that's a great market to go into.
Okay. Well, we have two questions that are kind of related. One asked if they can start making money by being an affiliate, and another one asked about ClickBank product promotions.
Yeah. Yes, you can start making money as an affiliate, absolutely positively, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the upcoming Info Summit. Yeah, and typically what's going to happen in most cases is that you are going to start making money as an affiliate, but then you are going to create your own products because people are going to want them. Or the other thing's going to happen. You're going to create your own products and you're going to sell products as an affiliate. So what I did when I was in the info business before I became the illustrious Chief Marketing Officer at GKIC, is I sold Dan Kennedy products. So I made a ton of money, tens of thousands of dollars every year as an affiliate of GKIC. So yeah, you can do it. You can do it either way. But in any case, you still need to follow the same procedure. You still need to generate leads, know how to write really good copy to convert those leads, to get them to go to the affiliates page, and so on and so forth. But yeah, you can do that. Sure.
Can I bring up a real quick point on that?
No.
One of the people no.
Okay, go ahead, Jack.
No. When I was doing the magic marketing to magicians, I had a lot of partners that had products for magicians as well, and essentially the same sort of mindset and saw the same problem space. I met all of them at Dave's event. By attending Dave's event is where I made the relationships with these JV partners, and to which I made a lot of money selling their stuff.
Okay.
That was a very helpful thing, because it leads me to saying there's two ways that you can attend the event. One way you can attend that was very smooth, like we planned that.
We didn't.
We absolutely did not. But yeah, you can still get a ticket to come to the event live by going to dankennedy.com/info summit. If you can't make it there live, get the restricted access live cast pass for only $997 and attend virtually. Don't miss it. There's really no excuse now if you're an information marketer. At $997, I mean, there's no better deal on the planet. Mike, let's go to another question.
Okay. Let's see. In your experience, what has a better response, physical products or virtual?
Great question. That's a really good question. And here's the answer. A combination of both. What you don't want to do in most cases is to have online-only products. Why? Well, first of all, the perceived value in most cases, and you can't just look at what the guys who are selling how to make money on the internet are doing. So by the way, when you come to the Info Summit, whether it's in person or whether it's virtually watching it online, we're not just going to be talking about how to become a guru in the internet marketing space, okay, selling crap that doesn't work to people who don't know, okay? A lot of the people who are going to be speaking, actually, we got a whole panel, in fact, a whole panel presentation, which you'll see because it's a main stage presentation, of people who are making millions of dollars in little obscure niche markets that you won't even hear about, which have nothing to do with making money online. So I don't want to give people that impression, but to answer the question, a combination is really good because you're going to have a higher return rate if you just have online products. The perceived value is far less than a physical product. And the other advantage of having a physical product is it has shelf power. What is shelf power? Well, shelf power is I can see it up on the shelf. So I've got Dan Kennedy, a whole bookcase of Dan Kennedy products. And just so you know, I mean, I think this is important for folks to know, I bought every Dan Kennedy product that came out before I started working for GKIC. I went to literally, I think I missed like one info summit. I went to all of them, whether I was a speaker or not, because I knew the power of that. And I remember one of them I couldn't go to because I had something to do. I would have definitely got this, virtual pass to watch it online. But yeah, but I can see the product, and so it adds. So what Dan? Here's something everyone wants to write down. Something that Dan teaches. You want people to, wherever they look, to see you. To see you. And I look around and I see that Dan Kennedy guy has done it to me. Now I'm just noticing. I'm looking over there, and there are my bookcases, and there's a bunch of Dan Kennedy books. I go in my bedroom, and guess what I'm reading? There's a Dan Kennedy book right there. I go on my iPad. I've got the iMarket on there. I go up to my office. I have a Dan Kennedy bobblehead doll, as well as magnetic marketing up there. So if this was just delivered virtually, that power would not be there. That constant reminder would not be there. That's one of the reasons, Mike, and Jack, that we send our newsletters, which is another information product, by the way, in print form and not just deliver them online. Let's take a couple more, and then I'm going to go eat.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Do you recommend continuity immediately as a new client, or do you offer it to clients later?
Yeah, there's two schools of thought on it. What you can't do anymore, so continuity for people who don't know, is that there's person signs up and they're charged $97 a month for something. So our newsletters are continuity products. So people are paying $59 up to $197 a month to receive newsletters and CDs. And those are on what are called a till for bid, meaning until someone says stop, they get charged every month and they get the content every month. Forced continuity was one of the most powerful things that you can do, and it was actually created in a platinum group by a guy by the name of Reed Hoisington. So Reed's in the Dan Kennedy Platinum group, and so Reed was talking to the group and saying, I've got this great idea. I don't want to sell my newsletter subscription separately, so I'm going to force it, meaning that the person, when they buy the product, they're going to be forced into getting the continuity. I'm not even going to give them an option. And everyone said, that's crazy, it's not going to work, no one's going to buy the product, work like gangbusters. Since then, that model you can no longer do. It's actually against the law to do. Okay? Not that there was anything sleazy about it, because there wasn't. I mean, it was clearly stated. They would clearly state that you were going on a continuity program, but you can't force it anymore. But you can add it on. So what a lot of folks do is, a lot of really good smart marketers, is they add it on as an option when someone buys the product. That's what we do at GKIC. So if someone buys magnetic marketing, one of the things we offer them is a trial membership in the newsletter. But it's a separate thing. It's not forced. They don't have to get the trial membership in order to buy the product. Really important point. So that's what we do. You can test it both ways. There's some guy, there's not a right or wrong answer to it, but the information I just gave you is actually a better answer than the question that was posed. Let's do one more, Mike, if we've got a good one.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the last one is kind of related, but it's more about the Info Summit. People are asking, why would they come to the Info Summit live if they can just get it online?
A really good question. Well, for a number of reasons. One of the key things now again, really, if you can come live, you should.
Yeah.
Or,
yes.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, it's going to cost you some more money, but here are the benefits of coming to the event live. One of the major benefits is the networking. the people who you are going to meet at the Info Summit and the connections that you're going to make can truly be more powerful than what you learn there. You got to remember, the best of the best of the best. So all of these speakers are going to be available. Jeff Walker, Alex Mandossian, Rich Scheffer, Ali Brown. All of these folks are going to be available for you to meet, for you to talk to, as well as attendees. We've got folks attending who are making millions and millions and millions of dollars as an info marketer. Okay, so that's one of the major reasons for attending. As Jack said, he met people who he has lifelong friendships with, and also very profitable lifelong business relationships with. So you get the whole that whole networking piece, which is something that we don't talk a lot about, but it's really, really a key piece. So that is a major reason for attending the event live. Another reason is we have a lot of functions that are going on at the event. So, for example, we have a reception in the Bat Cave. Is that what we're doing? The Bat Cave reception?
Yeah, I believe so.
We've got a bunch of cool things going on that you're not going to be able to participate in if you're watching it live on the internet. Also, we have breakout sessions, and there's no way technologically we can do the breakout sessions, show them. So that's another reason to attend live. But if you can't attend live, for $997, let me just, again, I want to point out this seminar inside the seminar that Kennedy's doing with John Carlton. That's worth $997.
Just that. Easily. It's worth double
Just
that.
If that was a product, a separate product, that's what we would be charging for it. So if you attend one session, that one session, it's worth the price of the entire thing, but you're getting all of the main stage sessions from the comfort of your home. And if you're an info marketer or you want to be an info marketer, if you're in this business, you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to start a business, a profit center inside the business that you already have, if you want to start a completely new business, if you've got a message that you want to get out to the world, whatever it is, not making this investment in yourself is an error. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's an error. And even if it's a stretch for you, even if the $997 is a stretch for you. I mean, Jack, when you came to my event, you weren't making any money. It was a stretch for you, that first event. When you joined my coaching program, that was a real stretch for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a real stretch for you. When you bought my business, that was an even bigger stretch for you. It is in the moments that, and this sounds self-serving, but it's the truth, so I'm going to say it. In those moments that you stretch and reach for something that you truly want, it's in those moments that you grow and you go to the next level, provided that you take the information and you use it. So if you're not going to watch the presentations, you're not going to take the information and use it, then we don't want you to come. We don't want your money. All right? But if you are, if this is something that you're thinking about or you're in the business, not taking advantage of one of these two opportunities, either coming live by going to dankennedy.com /info summit, or by clicking the button on this page and getting access to nearly the entire event for only $997. And by the way, that's only for the first 100 people. After that, it goes away. It also goes away definitely, whether we have 100 or not, on 10/29, on Monday. All right? So you need to take advantage of this immediately. You need to take advantage of this immediately. Mike, I want to thank you so much for doing a great job as the moderator of this.
Yep.
Jack Turk, thanks so much for joining me, telling your story, and helping the folks create, teaching them how to create a product. Jack, by the way, is going to be at the Info Summit. If you want to talk copywriting with Jack, he is going to be there. And so really important that you take advantage of one of these two opportunities. Also, remember that this coming Thursday, we've got another Google Hangout where we're going to be going in depth about how to make money with seminars with Shannon McCaffrey, who is the person in charge of all of our events here at GKIC. And then on the following Monday, we're going to have Dan Kennedy. So don't wait, though. Either go to dankennedy.com /info summit, get to the Info Summit in Nashville. If you can't make it, take advantage of this offer before it is gone. Click the button and get access to it remotely online. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I'm out of here. I'm going for some sushi. I'll talk to you on Thursday with Shannon. Bye, everybody.